Oh, I need my coffee. Dealing with you, I need my coffee.
Dealing with me. Right.
Oh, be truthful. We both need coffee first thing in the morning.
I need coffee because I've been drinking it every day for like, I don't know, 28 years. So, Robin, have you ever found yourself to be bored? Do you find yourself longing for adventure? Do you find yourself longing for a change of scenery? Do you desire travel and adventure, to see new places, unexpected twists, and instead of the mundane, boring, drab existence of a non-stop schedule with no change in scenery or events? Some people do. For those of you who don't, you might want to try military lifestyle. Yes, it's awesome. There's travel, there's adventure, there's just invigorating scenes and a change of every single routine that you want to do. How often? Every 2 to 3 years. That's right, it's PCS season. So for those of you guys who don't know what that means, you're Hideous Maximus and they're members of the Bad Haircut Club discount. We have to move every couple of years.
So what does that mean for us now?
Stay tuned and find out.
Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me?
Yes, so if you guys are sticking around, you either are totally mentally insane and have issues and want to see how other people act as they get crazy and off their medications, sometimes when they let them out from the loony bin, aka the office, that's me, or somebody who's sane and keeps me from going to jail, that's her. That's what you're looking for. So I'm Hank.
I'm Robin.
Together, we're living life's journey.
journey.
As we talked about stuff, we kind of talked about how things, yes, I am active duty. I have been in the Marine Corps active duty now for just shy of 28 years. It's been fun for me though. I've been infantry the whole time, seeing a whole lot of different things. Being on active duty, I don't necessarily get to go through what I want to do with work and say, hey, I want to go here and I want to go do that. I kind of get told, hey, guess what? We need somebody over here, and that's you. And I'm like, but I just got here and I'm liking the place we're living. It's cool. And they're like, yeah, don't care about your sadness. So that comes up being active duty. We get told, hey, this is where you got to go. This is what you got to do. And this is where we need you to go. And oh, by the way, you're going to leave here in about 30 to 90 days. Sometimes you get 5-6 months advanced knowledge. Sometimes you only get 2 weeks advanced knowledge. We've had that happen. Guess what? We got this new fun and exciting job for you. You're going to go do some stuff and things and stuff with all these different people that you don't know and you're probably not going to like. And I tell her, hey, baby, remember how you said you love getting out and traveling around the world and we wanted to got the RV so we can go travel? Guess what? We're going to travel again. And then
Out comes my planner, my calendars, and I start making lists upon lists upon lists because that means I have a lot of crap to do. Truth is, I start packing as soon as he comes in the door and tells me we're leaving. So I usually get everything done
as soon as I even get rumor that we might be moving. So we've known now for a couple of months. So we have been packing out everything, downsizing everything for about the 60th time since we found out about it. We've been going through it over and over again. Why? Because she has CDO. I mean that it's OCD, but you have to put them in the right order, so it's CDO. And it's good though, because she's got that. When I at work, I'm kind of like that sometimes, depending on what we're doing. But when I come home, yeah, I'm not.
And so what that means for me is I make sure that everything is in line at the house and I get all the lists ready, because as soon as we know exactly the date that we're supposed to leave, even though we've known for a couple months we're going to leave, we just didn't have adequate proof of the date that we're going to depart here, and we also didn't know for sure exactly the location we're going to. Now we do.
As we went through all the stuff that we go through, you have to get ready for things. Those who've been in the military know when you get orders to move PCS versus PCA. PCS is permanent change of station, for those of you guys not in the military. PCA is permanent change of address. Permanent change of address just means you're at the same location, you just have a new office to work in at a new command, but you don't have to move. With permanent change of station, that means you're packing up all your stuff and you're moving. In order to move that way, you got certain things you got to do. Now you have different ways that you can move. If you're in the sticks and bricks, most people opt for the full move where the government comes in, they pack up all your stuff, they box it all up, they put it in a truck, they move it, they bring it to your house, they unpack the boxes, take all the boxes out of the trash away, and you just put your stuff where you want it. So outside of that, have what they call a DITY move, or do it yourself. D-it-Y. right? Do-it-yourself move. Now, if you're in an RV, you're going to have to do a do-it-yourself move, which means you're packing up all your stuff. It's an RV. It's meant to move. You got all your stuff anyway. But it gets interesting because, as we found out, when you have an RV, in the military, if you have a trailer that's smaller than 12 foot, you get paid for the entire weight of the trailer, everything all weighed in together. If you're in anything over 12 foot, you don't get paid for the weight of the trailer. You only get paid for the weight of the stuff inside of it. Went through the joint travel regulations with our local defense military, Defense Management Office, I think.
DMO.
For DMO and what used to be called TMO for all the vets out there. Who, as we went and talked to them, we found out for an RV, you get paid for all of the weight minus the dry weight. So you still have to get your whole entire trailer weighed, whether it's at a CAT scale or a DMO base scale or whatever. You have to get everything weighed out. And then you have to go and take either your original contract paperwork that has the official weight from of the dry weight out of the factory, or that little yellow sticker for those of you guys who watch Big Truck, Big RV. They always talk about the data stuff. When it says what the actual dry weight is, you take a picture of that and then you put that in there, or you can take a copy of the registration which has the same number on it, and you use that number as the dry weight for your empty weight. And then you take your other stuff with all your other weight, add it in as the full weight, and that's what you get. I understand how everybody be frustrated, like, but that's your house and everybody else gets paid for all the weight. Yes, I don't write the regulations. I get it. You might be upset. I was upset when I found out. But here's the backside of it. We still got paid more than enough to cover everything that we had to do, all of the extra materials and everything we do, plus extra money to help cover meals and all this stuff on the way over here, and gas and everything, to where we still made out. But if you're active duty, you got to know.
Well, with all that information that needed to be provided, I also take care of, I get a copy of his orders and I provide that to all the information, because we, like right now, we have a contract for the states that we are in, and we will be leaving 30 days prior to the end of our contract. So I take I take a copy of his orders and I take it to all the places that need to be notified of our exit. And I separate that information, so I notify all our utility companies and all the people that need to be notified, so that we are legally, by law, doing the appropriate thing, so we're not ditching and not getting our deposits back. Another thing, I'm also contacting TRICARE because I need my medication. I need to make sure I get to see a doctor on time, taking the dogs to the vets to make sure they're taken care of, and so I do all the things that are necessary on that time, within that time frame, so everything is crossed over to the next location that we're going to. But that's what I do on my end on that stuff. Okay. So the biggest question is, Mr. Big Bad Marine, where are we gonna live?
Sure, I'll play your game. Where are we gonna live? We've got to take whatever opens up for us, and we got to figure out, like, okay, how do I take into account travel time and all these things, which usually leads over to her saying, okay, what are you looking for?
So now, with all the information where we're going to, most of the parks in the area that we're looking at are seasonal, which means they close from October to March. That doesn't work for us. And also where we're going to is a high popular vacation spot where people go and travel during the summer months, spring and summer. So that's also a very tedious, because going on the scheduling and schedule where you want to go and take a time for, they're already booked.
Not to mention it's just a huge urban type facility. But there's a buttload of people. Holy crap.
So that was a big issue as far as trying to find locations, and right now, because we're in this COVID spot, they're low staff, not taking appointments or not able to schedule appointments right now. They're only taking schedules for up to 60 days, which, if we're going to be stationed there for a couple years, it leads us into, we're going to be base hopping, or not only base hopping, but between civilian, national parks, state parks, whatever facilities we can find, we're going to be traveling often, because they're only limiting us to 60 days at a time.
But here's one of the other problems that for us compared to other people. Ladies, you guys are already aware of this. For dudes, I don't care what you say, size does matter. Little fun joke for you there. But here's what I mean by that. All right, some of you guys may have a 20 or 30 foot Airstream. You might have a hyperlight trailer as you're going out doing stuff, because it works for them being a single dude. Got it. We have a
45.
We have a mansion on wheels, as my father-in-law tells us all the time. Because we've got a 45-foot long toy box hauler that is considered a luxury trailer, because this is also our retirement plan. When we retire, we're taking this sucker and we're going to go cruise around and see all kinds of stuff all around the country, because
That's what we're going to do.
I've taken 3 decades and dedicated my life towards all kinds of stuff, and all the vacations we wanted to take, we never got to take. So we're going to make up on that promise to ourselves and go do that.
Yep.
It's a lot harder for us to be able to find exactly where to go to because of the fact that not a lot of places can fit a 45-foot trailer. We like to go to all those actual sites. And as we go through all these things that we're going through in all these sites, it makes it difficult to find. And we went to stay at a rather large state camp that's a well-known RV park in the area. They only had 5 spots that they could fit us into.
And we barely squeezed in because of the fact of availability at the time that we were going through there.
There's different aspects of this that you got to look into as far as when you're looking for a large trailer like we have. Something to think about. Again, we know we did this to ourselves. You know, God's always provided for us, and I think He's going to again. The place we're moving to is going to be perfect for what we have now, and we'll have 60 days to look around and see if there's other ones in the area and get stuff going.
Yeah, and with us pre-planning, with the fact that we were able to get into where we're going to, it allows us the opportunity to not rush and worry, to give us time to look around the area, because right now we don't know the area that we're going to. We've never been on the East Coast. This was our first time being on the East Coast, so we have never investigated the East Coast and actually seen all these different locations, so we have no clue. We're going from a map, putting a pin in and saying, will this work? Putting out feelers, asking other people advice, and getting feedback is the only other options we've had, and so this is going to be all new to us.
Again, I've been active duty for a long time. I was active duty before we met. I was active duty when we got married, still active duty right now. I've only got a few more years left before we're finally done with this, and we'll be good moving on. If you want to be military and live in a trailer, or I shouldn't say necessarily a trailer, if you want to live in an RV and go full-time in the military, it's not as hard as it might sound. But there are difficulties and there are things to go through. Through the deployments, through the training trips, through the times living in the field. I'm infantry, so in fact, when it was kind of funny. We got married and it was like, hey, love you. This is awesome. I'm so glad we're married. This is going to be so cool. I got to leave. I know, it's like we got married and then on a Saturday, and I had all the way through to a Wednesday, and I said, hey, I got to leave. Love you. I'll see you in 30 days because I was going to the field for 30 days. Away we went. If you ever want to hear that story, we'll talk about it later because that's a whole nother video.
And then 90 days later, he went on a deployment for 1 year.
It's what happens. I came home from a 9-month deployment to Iraq only to find out 9 months later I was deploying for another 7 months back to Syria and Afghanistan. So, things happen. Just be prepared for idiosyncrasies.
And as the saying goes, Semper Gumby. You gotta be flexible.
That's it. She gets to be Gumby, I get to be Pokey. For those of you who don't know that reference, you're not as old as we are. Remember, as you're out there in this world, it's a whole lot of fun. Could be different crazy things going on, but overall, find your adventure.
Create wonderful memories.
And live your life's journey.